So today we did more butterfly sweeps. So last week we did if you have an overhand grip over the arm, if your opponent dives into you, grab like a wizard overhand. Last week we did like an arm bar where you grab the opposite lapel, put your outside foot on the hip, and then exert pressure on the elbow, and then a punch stroke from there. So today we kind of continued on there. So if you have the overhand grip, you could do a sweep. Jason was teaching, he said you could bring, so if you have your left arm has the overhook, you can bring your right foot in, so it's like a half butterfly. So your left leg has the butterfly hook, your right leg comes in, you grab the opposite, so your right hand grabs his left wrist sleeve and pulls it in, and then you fall to your right shoulder, and then you sweep with your left foot, that's the one with the hook, that sweeps up. Your bottom foot, which is like under you, pushes up, and you sweep not sideways but toward your shoulder, like a 45-degree angle. So that's the first sweep. Second sweep is what if he doesn't push forward. So in this case, if his weight is back, so you still have the so you initially push forward and you get the overhook, and then he pulls back because he knows you're going to sweep. So this time you heist. So I learned that what heisting is the other day. So there's a difference in heisting and hoisting. Hoisting is you kind of squat and then you pull up, pull like a leg or an arm up. Heisting is when you change your level. So it is kind of just like standing up. So anyway, so I got the overhand, I have the overhook, I have butterfly hook on one, on the same side, and the other foot is underneath me. So you kind of just stand up as if you're wrestling up. So if he doesn't resist, then you can just wrestle up and push him over. Otherwise, when he'll probably push back against that resistance, and then you can use that momentum to push his arm through and then sweep. So that's the second one. The third one is a triangle. So when you are trying to sweep, you can't get it. He's pushing forward, so you think he can sweep, and then he pulls back. So you lose the momentum and you can't sweep, or he's just too heavy or something. You just can't sweep. So you have, let's keep it the same side. You have the overhook with the left arm, the butterfly hook with the right arm, with your left leg. You got your right foot is under you, and you have the collar, you have the sleeve grip with your right hand. So this situation, you have the hook kind of high, but you can't finish it. So now if you push his sleeve grip through, his left arm is now between your legs. So you can just bring your left hook around, and then your right foot over. So your left leg is now below his arm, his right armpit, and your right leg is above his left arm. So you just close the triangle, and then you can finish triangle from there. Yeah. Okay, so that's the third one, and then the fourth one is you have the overhook. He sits back. Well, actually, it's the same situation as last time. You start the sweep, you can't finish it. So you still have the hook. Or it's even more of a beginner stage. You can't even, you try to start the sweep and you can't hit it. So your leg isn't even raised. He's not off balance, he's there. So in this case, you bring the foot that's underneath to your right foot. You bring that, you kind of push that off of that. You can base with your right hand, and you heist again, and then you push up into, so you're sort of kneeling up against him, and then you can go to like a front headlock position. This felt a little awkward, like my arm is getting in the way or something. Yeah, it felt a little discombobulated. Yeah, so those are the four moves from Overhook, butterfly. I think Jason called it something else. Overhook, something like that. Also might be a whizzer. Yeah. So in the rolls are pretty good. One thing interesting, I was rolling as a pro belt. He usually does no-gi. So I tried a paper cutter on him. I was like, oh wow, I never saw that before. So then, because it involves it's a lapel choke. So in no-gi there's no lapel, so he wouldn't be familiar with it. So then after class I showed it to him, and then he said, and I was like, oh, it's called paper cutter. It's also known as the brake cutter. And then he's like, oh, in no-gi, brake cutter is this, and he showed me, and it was just with his hands. It's like a grip with your hands from behind or whatever. So it's just interesting that they modify the technique for no-gi, but you might not recognize, if you're not familiar with it in gi, you might not recognize it, even though it's kind of essentially the same thing. So, anyway.